Greetings everybody, this is Sabin Dimitrov, aka Adins for the Astral Wolf, and I'm coming to you guys today with another fun video. So I changed my name from Shefe to BG Vengeance, BG stands for Bulgaria, and, well, a lot of my characteristics is vengeance, and I figured why not kind of get like a fresh name and kind of a fresh start in the game, and not like a fresh start, but kind of like a new era about my arc. And BG Vengeance is kind of a good way to go. And yeah. So I'm going to be showing you guys a couple more. Well, first of all, I'm going to show you guys what my 4 wins that got me this the trophy on Peak Contest, and I'll show you guys what happens when I defended the fort, and that'll give you guys kind of insight on what I'm going to do later on. So as you guys can see, I'm probably just going to clear him out in one shot. And then there we go with the shockwave. That's nice and simple and easy. Unfortunately, this time they might get me, just because they have the Wings of Eternity. That's going to be rough. Surprisingly, we actually won that one, so that's actually quite surprising. This time we lost. Big time. But, you know, here comes Rogers, and as you can see, the other person is running a interesting build, because they are using the Mirages, which have a very high defense, and then they have their damage dealers in the back. And that's kind of a good way to do stuff. So as you guys can see, they are more than twice my size, but my Rogers has the terror space as well as his front soldiers to protect the back soldiers. So you guys can see that the shockwave did nothing to me. And no matter how hard they try to hit me, that means I can still heal my soldiers, because the front row is what's being hit, and that means they can heal. So even though they are, quote, being hit, they aren't taking any damage, but that activates their self-healing mechanism. So yeah, as you guys can see, I go through that battle. Then through the second one, we have the X, and the X is a great commander because they have that perpetual attack where they can keep attacking you. But as you guys can see, I used that shockwave and I cleared out the enemy. That hurt a lot. That is one nasty ship. That is an incredibly nasty ship. But as you guys can see, he's hitting me with some really heavy attacks, but my front row is defending quite well. And in the end, we win that one. This is not going to be like a full battle each time. It's just going to be a quick little view of my wins. On that last battle, we just outlasted each other, so we just handled that all together. This one's going to be simple because, she's small. This one is a decent size, but still kind of small. So my Vega's probably going to... Oh, wow, look at that. They actually took that hit surprisingly well. That's very impressive. Must say, that hurts. A lot. But if we get that, nope. But hey, in the end, we actually win. Then, of course, we have this guy, and then the shockwave comes in and cuts him down by 50 soldiers. And in the end, we win, and last but not least, this central battle, I get the first round, and I devastate that single row. Here comes shockwave again, and that completely destroys the X. Now, this guy is massive, so I'm going to be surprised if I survive this. Yeah, I'm taking a lot of hits. And of course, Vega's only attack missed, so fantastic. But there we go. That actually saved us a lot of trouble. And, Vega's Shockwave really comes in handy. So even though we lost, we still did a crap ton of damage to them. And this means they aren't going to do much of anything to my Vega because, to my Rogers, because Rogers is pretty much an impenetrable wall of iron. And we win that battle, and this is a small one, and we win that one. So that's how we get that. But, so I've actually been trying some stuff out with what do you call it, my Dragonslayer. Because I think, that's the only way I can, defend stuff with a smaller, march, but still do damage. And, well, this is actually quite interesting. On our last few battles, even though, I lost against, Major Wholesaw, you guys are going to see something interesting. So even though we didn't get, Shockwave on the first, on this entire battle, we still, crushed the enemy, even though we, quote, lost. They lost way more than we did. We only lost a couple tier 2 soldiers. Tier 1 soldiers. And they lost quite a substantial amount of soldiers. Now, I don't know what it is about Darkhole and me, but for some crazy reason, I just keep getting paired up with them and killing them. And, his Hancock commander is horrifying. Because they have wicked SWE. Or is it RWE? I think it's SWE. And that makes him very difficult to actually kill. But my Shockwave and my commander, because she has penetration, she can cut through all that and kill his soldiers. Now, Derpate, sadly, we lost to him, but we actually did do a solid amount of damage to that one roll, so they're still going to have to heal all that up. And then on this round, we have a couple... Where are we? Here we are. This is Darkhole again. And like I said, Darkhole has a pretty nasty commander. So he makes me lose one soldier, but my Shockwave comes in through and clears out his march. And then unfortunately, we go to Derpate again. So he gets to heal a little bit, which is unfortunate. But then that Shockwave comes through and cuts down a lot of his soldiers. So he's going to have to do a lot of healing for that. And then on this one, we have the... where am I? Here we are. Vengeance and Darkhole once again. Darkhole is very effective at clearing out my allies. But as you guys can see, my march with that Shockwave completely destroyed Darkhole and protected our fort and got us through. I hate Reinhardt, and I will never use Reinhardt. But the part that makes me happy is that we continuously crush the Reinhardt. And it's really, really nice being able to actually hurt the enemy and their Reinhardts, because Reinhardts are stupid and annoying. And so it's nice actually being able to have a credible counter toward them and actually hurt them a lot. And as you guys can see, my Shockwave comes through and completely devastates the Seth. And Seth is a very annoying arc in the game, and it felt really good just crushing their Hancock. And then, as you guys can see, they run theirs against me. And so I lose about half my soldiers, but my Dragonslayer still comes through and kills theirs. And that's quite a big loss that the enemy took. Now, I'm kind of a little bit bummed out that we didn't do the Shockwave, but we still cleared 2 of their stuff, of their soldiers, and that allowed my friend to get his first hit on the arc, because that protects us from taking damage. And then he comes through after doing that, and then they clear him out. And then, I think, was it this one? There's been a couple of these that I didn't fight in, so I think I'm at those now. But yeah, as you guys can see, my Dragonslayer does a very, very good job. Wow, look at Caveman go. Gee Whittakers. Caveman kicked butt. Nice job, Caveman. Even though we lost, we still destroy a lot of this stuff. Caveman's man of the hour. So yeah, I'm very happy with us being able to defend our fort. Nice job. My friend actually killed the MRE. Nice, nice, nice. Or RME or whatever the name is. But yeah, so I don't think I'm gonna be absorbing my Dragonslayer's leadership, because it seems to be at that perfect level of still big enough to hurt the enemy quite substantially, but also small enough to what you call it, not be too big of a problem. Because as much as I do love Vega, some of his skills are a little annoying to work with. And yeah, like so he even though he has breakdown, which is pretty much penetration, Dragonslayer has a much higher what you call it, shockwave for her damage, because hers is level 60 while Vega is only level 19. So hers is 3 times more effective. So using her as a smaller defense commander, or when fighting in capitals, is probably the best way to go, until the enemy starts sending really big marches. I want to keep my Vega the size that he is, because he's just big enough that he can kill the main Imperial Invasion command center most of the time on Hell difficulty. So I don't want to jeopardize that and make him small and then thereby less effective. So what I'm just going to do is leave my all my commanders at the levels that they are and the leadership that they are, and then just focus everything into Orochi for the foreseeable future until we can get him about on par to what Rogers is. Because having a really strong Orochi and a really strong Rogers is probably the way to go, because Rogers is a very nice commander on like all the other events, and like it is, you know, with the Cyan Shuttle, that's where he shines. But for in the game fighting against other players where you can actually take losses, having a tier 2 Seagull Orochi will make him really, really nasty. And that will allow him to actually outlast the enemy even when they run very big marches or even tier 12 marches, because Orochi can use the corrosive armor and then the Menderbot to heal, and then the awakening airship, and then quick replenish. Which like I said, guys, I'm going to be swapping that out for natural force when that comes up. But unfortunately, until the really nice person on my YouTube channel told me about natural force, sadly I've already used up all my Eastwood medals for awakening materials. So unfortunately that puts me in an awkward situation, because now I have to go through multiple events that, and the unfortunate part is that Eastwood is a level C commander if I rank C commander, and unfortunately these won't give me those commanders, and only like C or above will give me commanders like that, and you usually get them by the Warp Gates release 10. And for this event, I already used all of my stuff. And unfortunately, the really frustrating part is that Eastwood, I only got like maybe 80 medals from Eastwood after releasing all his commanders. So until, later on, I'm gonna have to stick with quick replenish. Now, what I might actually do is give Orochi absolute defense and then swap and then put natural force on Rogers, which will make him very annoying to deal with. Because if that's the case, that means his soldiers will be able to recover health points. So that's also a really good way to go. But I was also maybe thinking about maybe adding, re-adding Menderbot on Rogers, so that way he can heal his soldiers, but then put maybe absolute defense on Orochi. So that way both my commanders have the ability to heal their soldiers, but also they also are extremely defensive. So that way these guys will be more on par with their defensive as well as offensive capabilities. But one of the things that I've been, like I told you guys last episode, was Orochi can be run with a penetration build, a lot like this, but down here. Because the Tanglang has a damage reduction 20% at, oh, go away, at, level 40. And then same thing with the Beetlejuice, it has 30% level 40, as well as critical wither. So the critical wither will make Orochi be able, no, sorry, not critical wither. The damage reduction will make Orochi not take 50% of the damage. So if the enemy is going to clear you out in one shot, like you run into a commander like Black, and they have cleared out all your other allies, the damage reduction is going to be really, really good, because that will be able to take away 50% of that damage, which is absolutely amazing. And then depending on which arc hole that you run, I usually run the Lucifer. That's another 5% damage reduction. Now, I know that there's one more, like the Aegeas, which is 10%. So technically you can get 60% damage reduction. Or if your equipment is maxed level, then I think you can get all the way to like 70%. And that's really, 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 really good. But, as far as I know, there aren't any damage reduction gems, because if they ever add a thing like damage reduction gems, I might just shove those onto Rogers and replace those from his, but the thing is that the health points is what really makes Rogers, strong, because of his strong shield, AI1, and his other abilities. So that means he can actually soak up the damage, and that means he would be a lot harder to actually wipe out. So, like it is, guys, it's kind of like some interesting feedback and ideas and stuff that I've been trying to work on. Let's see, how long is this video? 19 minutes. But yeah, so overall, I think I'm just going to keep things the way they are. Focus on getting, what do you call it, getting Dragonslayer medals until Vega's ability is maxed. And then I will try getting, Orochi medals, because that way I can maybe put Menderbot or something more useful on, well, put that on maybe Rogers or something like that. Because, unfortunately, I'm not exactly sure what else to do. And unfortunately, I think this is just the way to go. Um, like I said, until I unlock what you call it, the Cyan Shuttle, it's going to be difficult for me to be more effective, just because like it is, the Cyan Shuttle can take a hit. It can take a really, really heavy hit. So, and that would be great for both Rogers and Orochi. And, well, and that could probably also be good for Vega. Because, as you guys can see, Vega has no dodge. But we can also you can awaken him and have 600% dodge. Like this, see? DOD, which is dodge. Which means, depending on how much dodge you have, that's also how much your soldiers can heal themselves back and restore themselves. So, Cyan Shuttle is kind of the way to go. It's a really nasty ship. It's a very strong ship. So, yeah, like I said, I'm going to be putting all my resources toward the growth of Orochi for the foreseeable future, or at least until he is on par with Rogers on leadership. And then I'm going to get his Counter Striker artificial intelligence to level 10, just so that way it's at least somewhat, useful. And then I'm just going to put more effort into Vega and Rogers' artificial intelligence and make him better. Because one of the things about Counter-Striker is that it's great because it when you take damage, that means the enemy takes damage as well, because it makes a rebound state. So technically, that's like another level of being able to defend yourself, and it's pretty much the AI version of corrosive armor. The unfortunate part is that, as far as I know, it's the first hit you take, and then that's it. Let's take a quick look at this and see what it says. Puts all of our troops in the rebound state, and the next time they receive damage, deal 0.4 of the received damage to the enemy. The max damage cannot exceed 1000% of the initiator's attack. And from the battles I have seen with Counter-Striker, you can't like make the enemy be hurt every single time you get hit. I think it's like the only time. So like it says like the max time, not like for each round. So I think you have to cycle through 6 turns to for that to cycle through, and then that's what it does. But yeah, so it's actually kind of fun being able to to actually be able to run that. Now, I actually had a person ask me a question about leadership events, and I'm going to take this part of the video to explain that. So they asked me, what is the quickest way to get leadership? And in all honesty, there's multiple ways that you can get leadership. You see, if you go over here, and you want to have leadership, you want to try to keep all your commanders at level S. You don't want to absorb them. And what you do is that as you get them to rank S, you always want to try to get the leadership transfer chips. Now, if the commander only has like a couple hundred leadership like this, like a NB55 or Reinhardt or Hoodoo or Soin, I guess, or Coin, then it's not really worth it, and just let them have that couple hundred of leadership. But if you have like the really big commanders, you don't want to you don't really want to have multiple commanders at high leadership. You want to have one like big attack commander and then like one big defense commander, or at least that's the way that I do stuff. Like, you can play the game however you want. That's kind of the really cool thing about the game, that you can play the game however you want. But the way that I personally run the game is that I have one really big attack commander, and Vega does an amazing job. And then I have one small attack commander, which is Dragonslayer. Then I have kind of my sister wolf, which is a kind of a half and half. She is great at going against reinhardents, but she can also do damage with her guaranteed abilities. As you can see, these are both 100. These are both 100%. And then she has a steam cannon, so she's more of an attack commander, but she's more in a sense of a counter commander. You see, you want to have at least like one attack and one defense commander, but you also want to have one commander that's a great counter, whether that is a bullet or a hoodoo or a plasma or a sister wolf, or you want something that can counter other stuff that people run. And that is why I have Sister Wolf, because she goes great against commanders like like defense commanders like Reed Harden and stuff like that that can take up damage. So but then Orochi, I want him to be high level too. You see, he's only at 28,000 leadership, and my Rogers is at 315,000 leadership, and depending on what I'm using these commanders for, I think I'm going to have two mid-level defense commanders, and then leave these two, leave Dragonslayer and Sister Wolf where they are. But yeah, you don't really want to go more than three commanders for actually adding leadership. But if you run a commander like Vega, they excel at being big and hitting really, really hard. But if you want a smaller commander that can peck away at the enemy and you don't have to worry about losing too much, Dragonslayer is the way to go, because she can be small and she can take and she can land a solid hit. Come on. And yeah, her attack power will increase by 60%. So yeah, so it's just, in all honesty, it kind of depends on what you feel that you should do. But I like to have Vega at max maybe 700,000 leadership, and then have these other two commanders at maybe 350 leadership, and then see where I want to go from there. And then, but yeah, so then an event that you can get leadership from is, let's say you increase leadership here, you get little bits of magazines back. Or if you want to, sometimes some commander release events will have bonuses of leadership, but in all honesty, you want to make sure you have all your commanders at level S, so that way if you want to swap stuff out, you can, and the commander's already at the highest rank. And then, remember I told you guys about the Oracle event? That's the really nice, that's what I was telling the individual, Godspeed. That's her name, Godspeed. And these events are prime when it comes to the Oracle event, because you can get yourself resources for cosmic crystals, and then you can also get yourself magazines. Now there are some events where you can get like one of those like large magazine packs, and that's 100 each. But I like kind of evening things out, since I use resources like a lot. So this is kind of a nice middle ground. You get some resources, you get some magazines, and it's pretty nice. And then on top of that, you can also get super equipment chests, which you can open and allow you to get event items and stuff, so you can get more equipment. Now, And then like another fun way to so let's say that let's say that you don't run. So in my case, I am an airship commander. And one of the reasons why I love keeping all my commanders at level S is that every time I release commanders from the warp gate, um, they automatically turn into what do you call it, awakening materials. So let's say you have this turned off. What happens is that if you here, I'll show you. So if you turn it off, it says, warning, once closed, when you get a commander which has reached S-Class, it will be converted into commander medals. Continue. And then so what happens is that your commanders won't automatically be turned into awakening materials. They will be turned into their regular commander medals. And then you won't be able to process those into awakening materials until you turn this back on. Once opened, when you get a commander which has reached S-Class, it will be converted into awakening materials. Continue. So for me, until I get until I get my equipment, get my fourth skill that I want to unlock for Orochi, or even possibly Rogers, which is natural force, I'm going to be doing this and keeping it off, so that way my commanders can automatically turn into medals, so that way I can always get Eastwood medals. And but yeah, so like you can actually transfer you can actually so because I run only airships really, that makes it so that way my I don't use the other two types of awakening materials, both advanced and regular. So for the common and advanced materials for infantry and walkers, I just say use, and that was the what do you call it, so the yellow ones give you 5 magazines each, and then the purple ones give you 10 magazines each. And those are really, really nice, and that really helps you get stuff. And then also completing these quests also gives you special rewards. And this daily quest chest right here can also give you 25 magazines per day, if it gives you that. But for me, for the easiest way to get these each day is that occupy a resource tile. That's a really easy thing to do. Another one I like to do is obtain resources, and this is collect arc resources, which is these 5 ships. They were the ones I told you about on my walkthrough video. That's another easy way to get that, and you just collect those once a day, or however many times you want. Training infantry is a really easy way to get that, because it can be any kind of soldier. So I always train tier 1, because that's airships. We have that taken care of. This is walkers, and this is infantry, and that is 3 points down. And there we go. And then another way that you can get another point is sell a piece of equipment. And we just take this bad boy over here, and boom, you're all set. And then as you can see, we are at 14. Another way that this one gets very difficult later on, because pretty soon all your buildings are going to be at level 22, and then this is pretty much an unobtainable goal. Healing soldiers is really, really easy to do, because you can just attack like level 330 at the Explorer, and run like a small commander that like does these right here, and you can attack it. So then the enemy hits you a couple times, and then you lose a few soldiers each. And then... Oh, I actually didn't lose anything. That's actually really funny, considering, because that's the hardest level for the Explorer. So that's actually really funny. So I guess another way you can hurt soldiers so you can heal them is run Anarochi with tier 1 airships. And you know, these things are super cheap to heal. And that's a good way to go. And then another way that you can get those quests is the Time and Space War is where you go over here and you collect, and then you wait a couple seconds, and then you collect one more time, and then that will automatically give you more points. And then you can heal soldiers. The Time and Space War. Then you can also do equipment to code. And it's really easy to do. You do 1 and you do 2, and that's equipment to code. And you can select any kind of equipment that you want to sell that is to them. And then you can train walkers. You can train. You can improve leadership. Improving leadership is just adding a leadership to your commanders, but I wouldn't recommend doing that unless you can't get here, because often it's not worth saving up your magazines for the event if you keep spending 100 magazines a day. And then improving skills is decent, but you know, once all your commander skills are to level 60, you can't do that. And same thing with the research technology. Eventually that's going to get really expensive, so that's not an obtainable goal. So one of the ways that I like to do stuff is sell equipment. Like you guys saw, I sold a piece of equipment in the market, and it's ready for someone to buy it. You can also craft equipment, and that means craft anything from something basic to something super advanced. You can submit equipment level 2, which is these little green ones, and then you can train your airships. You can attack other players, but most people have their arcs perma-shielded, so you can't attack them. And you can do equipment to code 3, which is these blue ones. And you can pick any one of those, and that gets you medals. You can improve leadership number 2, which is add 100 leadership, and like I said, that's not worth it. Power requirements, so you just train 1,000 Yetis, because that's the cheapest and easiest way to increase your power. And then your guild donations is super simple and easy to do. And then you can send resource support and troop support to your friends or your allies, or to the guild fort. And you can also do guild support, which is hit that little help button right here. Now, because my poor guy lost, it's going to cost me 50,000 and 50.2 thousand food and parts, and 25,000 gas. So that's really simple and easy to do. Only 46 minutes, and I heal. So that's like kind of a nice, quick, and easy way to get your stuff. Oh, look at that! I actually killed 14 Genesis. That's actually not bad. But yeah, so that's an easy way to get, you know, magazines. You see this daily quest chest? It just gave me 25 magazines, and that's really cool. So those 25 magazines can be put toward my leadership. And now there's sometimes other events where you can add leadership, but you always want to save your magazines for those events. And then like I said, for your combat AI, every time you upgrade these, you get more leadership boost right here at the bottom of the screen. Leadership boost. And at level 40, you get a 10% boost. So if you have 1 million leadership, you're going to have 100,000 leadership added to your commander, because that's how big they are. So if your commander is 500,000 leadership, you're going to get 50k leadership added to your commander by the passive traits of your artificial intelligence. So that's another way for your leadership to be bigger than it really is. Now, as a warning, if you remove your artificial intelligence from your commander, that boost also goes away from that commander, and that boost will be carried on to the next commander you put that level 40 artificial intelligence on. So yeah, it's actually really kind of cool. So yeah, so that's just a way to answer your questions to get leadership quickly. Another way for you to get leadership is this world event. And if you click on that and you go to the shop, you can go down to the item menu and you can pick all of these. And you can buy, and I can buy 13 magazine racks. But I'm trying to save my materials for spirit stone shards, because that's stuff that I need to get my commanders leveled up. Or I can get the Gaussian alloy since I'm running 2 awakened commanders. 3 of them actually. So yeah, that's a nice way to get those. And yeah, I think that's the only way you can get those outside of that. But yeah, so there's multiple ways you can get leadership. It's just more in a sense of how to execute the game properly, so you're not making needless waste. Now, certain super value event packs will get you 500 leadership or even 1,000 leadership. Those are really nice. Or if you somehow manage to get, metaverse packs, you can wait until the universe coin pack tab pops back up. And you usually want to wait for events where the one with gold pops up, because if I bought these packs, I would get no gold, and therefore I would get stuff that wouldn't be very useful for me. And since almost all my equipment is level 40, kind of a useless thing to get these. So, yeah, so in all honesty, I wouldn't, Sorry, I had to clean off the screen, a little bit of dust on it. But, yeah, so, yeah, like, you can technically buy metaverse coin packs if you really wanted to, and then wait. And then you can get extra gold that way, and as well as resources from that. These things hold no value except that they look cool, and that's the only reason why I get them, because they're fun. But yeah, so but yeah, like I hope that answers some of your guys' questions. But just so you guys know, there's actually 2 different kinds of events. There's this one that is slotted this way, but then there's another one that pops up, which is called a redemption event or something like that, and you can get certain things like commander medals, and you get more substantial rewards by adding stuff that way. So it more in a sense depends on what you need. Sometimes skipping a couple leadership events is a good way to go, because sometimes the leadership event that you need and the equipment that you need for your stuff is a way that you need to go. And sometimes not letting your commanders grow for a couple months or just a couple weeks is the best way to go, because that way you can save up magazines and get better rewards later on. But yeah, so it's kind of a fun way to do stuff. And sometimes when they have the leadership events, you know how it says BOGO on magazines, buy one get one free? That's another way you can go. So if you buy a pack for 7,000 gold, then you get another pack for free. And sometimes it will have a success rate for leadership addition, which means instead of being 20%, instead of being 40%, it'll go to 60% successful chance increase. So just keep your eyes open for certain events, so that way you know how to use your you know how to use your commanders for the best way possible. and that's the way you can increase your leadership the quickest. But remember, you don't have to be big to be effective. You guys see my Dragonslayer? She's only 50k, and yet she's taking on top tier players and giving them a world of hurt. And because she is also doing penetration builds. Now this is end game equipment. This is really hard to get, especially for a beginner. So unless you're one of those players that just buys like a bajillion packs and has money to burn, you want to be you want to try to go for stuff that has penetration, and also go for certain gem sets that will make you hit. And like I said, Dragon's sister wolf, she only has to be 10,000 leadership, and she can kill reinhardens and really give them what for. So remember, it all depends on the commander and what exactly you are trying to accomplish. Are you trying to peck away at the enemy little by little and make their losses substantial? Or are you trying to just bomb the enemy out of existence with a single hit with my Nuclear Bomb Vega? I call him Nuclear Vega because with his shockwave, and then with his breakdown, and also his awakening airship on top of his skills that he's going to be running. The Cephas Majesty, the Gemini, and the Scorpio. In all honesty, I might be swapping Cephas Majesty out for Light of Libra, because Light of Libra is a really good skill, because that will that'll pretty much gut punch the enemy, because when they hit you, if your soldiers don't die, like if your slot isn't cleared, that means your soldiers will automatically retaliate and shoot back at the enemy. And yeah, so it's just, and then if you want like a mid-tier commander like this, like Rogers, like I showed you guys in at the beginning of this video, to just kind of outlast enemies, or kind of, hit the enemy hard and kind of, do his stuff. You can run different marches with Rogers to be effective. Now, like I said, guys, you don't ever really want to full march a commander unless you are using low tier soldiers, because the losses and the requirements to heal your soldiers will be astronomical when you get to the higher level tier soldiers. So that is why Orochi is fantastic at tier 2 soldiers. And like I said, guys, one of the ways that I run marches is I like to run Rogers like this, because you have your one slot that will cut through the enemy with the terror space, as well as his as well as just be able to tank the first hit, and then the rest of these guys will just be bullet sponges, so that way this slot can cut through the enemy. And yeah, so it's actually really kind of cool. And then let's find like a different monster to attack, something simple like that. I mean, you can just do this. Just run that. And then now I'm attacking a monster that I know I can beat, so that's why I'm full marching it. But you usually don't want to do that, because that will just give you trouble. But yeah, so just because I am impatient. 30 seconds, 30 seconds, there we go. But yeah, so it's just more in a sense to just kind of depends on stuff. Just so you guys know, you can test out your commander's abilities and stuff on the Ace of Galaxy and not have to worry about losing soldiers or commander health. The only thing that it costs is this little blue bar, and that is commander energy. And commander energy is is what is needed for you to attack enemies or tiles or stuff like that. So if you want to, to attack the enemy with your one slot and then have extra contingency that's cheap to heal, then you can do that. As you guys can see, my Rogers killed him in one shot. Or if you want to completely bomb the enemy out by running this, you can do that as well. And that's a guaranteed hit. So in all honesty, it just kind of just sort of just depends on what you're trying to do to be effective. Remember, you don't have to be a big commander to be effective. You just gotta know how to run your equipment, run your arc holes, run your gem sets. These are selectors right here, and just make sure you have the right skills added to your commander. These ones are the ones your commander comes with, and you can't swap this out. The fourth skill, however, can be swapped out. But like I said, anything over level 10, you sacrifice some equipment, some of those materials, because you added that and then you removed it. So try to make sure you make a final choice on stuff and don't swap stuff around too much, or else you're gonna lose your stuff. But yeah, so I hope that this has been a very informational video. I hope that this has, helped you guys kind of understand how stuff works, and hopefully this will be able to give you guys, good insight and input on how stuff works. And, I hope that this will be able to, help you guys be better at the game. So, anyway, guys, this has been Sabin Dimitrov, aka Against for the Astral Wolf. It has been an absolute pleasure having you guys here watching my video, and it's nice being able to have people interact with my videos. So please feel free to, give me your input, like, share, and subscribe, and please just, join my YouTube channel and share it around so that other people can be helped too. You guys stay awesome, and always remember, God bless.